many of you out there have those days when you feel irritable and worn out? Maybe you don't even want to get out of bed in the morning. Perhaps the solution is better sleep. On today's show, we'll learn about the symptoms of common sleep disorders, what you can do to help yourself, and when to see a doctor. How much sleep do we need?
Actually, sleep is a very interesting thing that as time goes on from the time when we are born, where we sleep between 16 and 18 hours, except to trouble the moms for breastfeeding, at certain times in our lives we can get away with between 6 and 8 hours of sleep. And as we age, some people will require less sleep. So even though the elderly feel that they not sleeping long hours, their sleep need may be much less. However, it has been proven now with certain tests and also with certain studies that people need at least 6 to 8 hours of restorative sleep, meaning sleep that is undisturbed.
What sleeping rituals will help us get to sleep?
Sleeping rituals, there's a whole long list of hygiene tools regarding sleep. One of it is to choose a comfortable room and environment with a comfortable temperature that's not too hot, not too cold. There's also a specific sleep time which you have to set for yourself. You should try and keep by those sleep times. You should also avoid having caffeine or caffeinated products prior to sleep. You should avoid having significant meals prior to sleep because you can have reflux and this can affect you from having a good night's sleep.
What is the difference between sleep apnea and insomnia?
Sleep apnea is related to frequent awakenings and or periods of absent breathing due to a central mechanism in the brain which is causing difficulty in breathing. But sleep apnea has also two different components. One is called central sleep apnea and the other which is called obstructive sleep apnea. Now, obstructive sleep apnea can be related to such conditions as chronic sinusitis, postnasal drip, the little uvula, which is the little thing that hangs in your back of your throat, sometimes falling back, as well as your tongue falling back. So sometimes you require to have treatments that prevent that from happening, and there are also tools such as a CPAP machine which provides you with an appropriate amount of oxygen that is going on continuously at a certain pressure level which is determined after an exercise of sleep assessment is done. The central sleep apneas are related to chemical sensitivities in the brain, and that has a little bit of a different component.
Are there foods or vitamins that can induce sleep?
There are definitely foods and vitamins that can induce sleep. One of the most common food stuff is the tryptophan class of food stuff. A lot of it is contained in things like hot milk and chocolate and so forth. But they have also gone a bit further and have produced this as pharmaceutical material called L-tryptophan, and it's available by prescription, which seems to be sufficient to treat some of the insomnia that we have. But again, like I said, insomnia can be a symptom of another condition or disease such as depression. So if you treat the depression, your insomnia will be treated. Frequent awakenings from things like prostate problems, etc., wake the patient up and they can't get back to sleep. Those can be treated if you treat the prostate you don't have significant sleep issues.
And today we're going to create, there's going to be 3 recipes. First we're going to do the pumpkin granola, and this is to induce sleep. So show us how to do granola. And you chose something different.
Yeah, we
as
went
your
with
oat
steel-cut
base.
oats. Just sort of a crunch.
Instead of the rolled oats.
Instead of the rolled oats, I mean, generally you're going to use like old-fashioned rolled oats. You don't want
Right.
to use quick oats because they'll just burn in the oven.
Okay.
But we went with steel-cut, just a sort of different texture.
I like it. And I've never tried steel cut, so it's very crunchy, right? So a little different than the texture of the rolled oats.
Yep.
All right. Now
And
tell
we,
me what's all in here.
Just basic sort of granola mix. We got our steel-cut oats. Then we have sweet coconut flakes.
Coconut flakes.
Slivered almonds.
Almonds, right.
Some pumpkin seeds or pepitas. Probably, I think that's a 1/4 cup plus a tablespoon of brown sugar. And you're not going to put your dried cranberries in there while you bake it. You're going to put those in at the end. Just
That
so
makes a lot of sense.
Sugar's not going to burn, and your cranberries aren't going to dry out even further.
Now in the almonds and the pumpkin seeds, we were talking about this, they have selenium. So selenium induces sleep. So a little bit, because that's what we're focusing on today,
Yeah.
trying to add a little bit to help patients, or people in general, focus on getting better sleep. And with the cranberries, they have serotonin, so another chemical that's created in the brain to help you lull yourself into sleep.
So then what we have here is just a little splash of canola oil, some maple syrup,
Okay. Nice color, right?
and some salt. And you're just going to sort of mix this up.
Do you like granola? Is it something that
I do,
you eat
yeah.
at home? Do you? You make this at home for your wife?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. I just started eating granola.
Takes a while to cook in the oven, but
Right.
just make a giant batch. And then, so you're just going to toss all this together.
And I'm sure you never buy store-bought, right? It's always,
Nope. It's
you
just
make everything
easy to
from
make.
scratch.
And you can control the amount of sugar you're putting in there.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't put a lot of sugar. Now, how many servings would this be, you think?
This will make, I think I cut that recipe in half, so
Okay.
I'd say 10. So then you're just going to
Okay.
pop this on a sheet tray with paper.
Right. It looks really easy to make, and I've never made granola
It's
at home, but I
simple.
think I might. This looks like a super easy recipe,
Try and spread it out into one even sort of layer.
right?
And that part's quick. It's just the roasting in the oven. You want to roast it in a 250-degree oven for about an hour and 25 minutes. And
Little
then
bit
once it
crunchy.
comes out, you let it cool and then stir in your cranberries, and then
Okay.
that's what you're left with.
I'll get a little bit of cranberry in there too. It tastes just like a granola bar. Very good. The amount of sleep a person needs depends on many factors, including age. For example, in general, infants require about 16 hours a day. Teenagers need about 9 hours on average. Most adults need 7 to 8 hours a night for the best amount of sleep. Although some people may need as few as 5 hours or as many as 10 hours of sleep each day. And women in the first 3 months of pregnancy often need several more hours of sleep than usual.